Hi everybody, sorry about that. It was a very wacky thing that happened with the phone, but now we're talking about protecting our nectar feeders from the raccoon invasion. Again, this is when the babies,
I'm trying to see.
okay, you can hear Miley panting ferociously in the background, our dog, our 15-year-old black lab, and she has walked up beside me and decided to pant, so pardon for that. But we're going to we're here to talk about the invasion of the raccoons and how to protect your nectar feeders, especially seed feeders too. But right now I'm focusing on my pole setup here right outside my family room window, and this is to illustrate the importance of baffles. I have raccoon baffles on both of these poles, and they are 100% effective against the raccoon invasion. So they are, if you're in a situation where you can see your nectar feeders from your family windows in which you can put them on poles, I know no better way to protect yourself against raccoons, your jelly and your sugar water from raccoons than putting raccoon baffles on the poles. Right now, my Oriole feeders only have mealworms in them. I am not doing jelly this time of year. We did have a question the other day about keeping bees out of the jelly, which is extraordinarily hard to do. And by this time of the year, you know, Orioles are migrating out. There's still young, females mainly and babies left. Maybe some males around, but they are they would be more interested in eating insects than they would the jelly itself. So I like putting out a lot of mealworms this time of year, not only for the chickadees and the titmice and those guys and the bluebirds if they come around, but the Orioles will eat them too. So rule number one, make sure you, if you can, if you have a pole system, put raccoon baffles on the poles. The shorter squirrel baffles are great for keeping squirrels out, but typically are not tall enough. They're long enough to keep the raccoons out. So that's why we call these the stovepipes because of their length, but they are super effective. And a tip on mounting them, you see how high or how much distance there is between the ground and the bottom of that raccoon the baffle. It's so that when those raccoons start climbing that pole, they have to make the transition from that 1-inch skinny pole to try to wrap around and bear hug that baffle, and they can't do it. If that baffle were too low to the ground, the raccoons could just reach up and bear hug it and then shinny right up that baffle. So mounting them correctly is really, really important. The raccoon baffles are amazing. Okay, so you may be in a situation where you can't use poles. And so we're going to look at a couple of different alternatives. I'm going to wheel myself backward. Yes, I'm in my wheelchair right now. And one of my other favorite methods, and I'll show you right now, is hanging from under the eave of my house. Now this is easy for me because this is over my deck, so I can reach this hummingbird feeder quite well. But this, I've been doing this for years, and raccoons can't climb glass. So hanging feeders in front of windows, this just hangs from under the eave. I got a little teacup hook up there, and I definitely use a nectar protector, an ant moat, because ants can climb glass. So I keep this, protected from the ants. And there's a hummingbird right beside me trying to come in, and he's somewhat intimidated by me. So he went to the other hummingbird feeder out there on the pole. So, but feeding from under your eave, and this just doesn't apply to hummingbird feeders. You can put a peanut feeder there, or a tube feeder, a finch feeder. Those are great ways to protect your feeders from invaders that may be a problem. So I know it all depends on your situation. Like I said, this one, I'm lucky that the eave is so low, but right over here on this part of my house where the big picture windows are, in the winter I hang finch feeders from the gutters, and I just use a branch hook attached to the gutter, and the finch feeders hang low enough to be right in front of the picture windows, and they work quite well as you may have tried that as well. But that's a good one. And then I know there are a whole lot of you that have to feed from your deck, really. And it's the only thing that works for you, just position-wise, and deck hooks and deck arms are really, really popular. I don't do that because I tried that when I first moved in our house, and of course the raccoons were knocking off the feeders to the ground every morning. And while it's wonderful to take your feeders in every night. I was terrible at remembering to do that. So the deck arms, which would fit right here, used to have one that fit right there, is now taken down. But if you're a person that does need to do this and you want to take your feeders in every night, I understand that. Some people just take them and have a Rubbermaid container inside their doors and just put them in there. Some people put them in their sinks overnight. But an advice that I got, a tip I got from a customer a few years back, was if you've got a gas grill, again, when you go at night, just go out, take your hummingbird feeder or your oriole feeder, lift your gas grill lid and put them in there overnight. And then the next morning, get up, put them back out and hang them. That way you're not bringing any sugar water into your house or any potential ants or anything like that. Works really, really well. So a great tip for those who have to do in every night. And let's see, we're trying to switch this back around. And there we are. Look who that is. It is starting to drizzle rain, so I'm going to end this one now. Thank you for tuning in. It was a great idea for a program. I'm going to try to get back on a regular basis, just like we've always done. But thank you for your patience for the last 6 weeks now, 7 weeks, whatever it's been. And again, I thank you so much for your support. And the staff is there, Ruth and Carrie and the rest of the guys. Thank you so much for keeping the store going through these times. And we will hopefully see you again very, very soon. Until then, come by, let's talk birds.